Welcome to Trailer Teardowns. I'm one of your co-hosts, Evan Bass Seisel, joined by Angel Acevedo, and today we're discussing the trailers for Fountain of Youth, Heads of State, and Happy Gilmore 2.
So yeah, we're gonna be doing a slightly modified episode than we've done in the past. It's sort of like a hybrid of a quick takes and a regular episode, but focusing only on streaming movies. So very different
Well,
than
you
our
say very
other.
different though. Is it very different? Because I feel like streaming movies,
Well, I guess
some
very.
of them go to. I mean, a lot of these are going to theaters too, aren't they?
No, these are all straight to
Oh, it's
streaming.
all
So that's
straight to
why it's
streaming.
different.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
These are
Okay.
all streaming. We have not done streaming only movies. So yeah. So I figured since, you know, in the course of our almost 20 episodes, your go-to sort
It's
of
streaming.
primary viewing habit is streaming. So I figured, hey,
Hmm.
let's do something that's just focused around streaming movies and maybe you'll see them if you're into
Well,
them or not.
well,
But
I also think it's interesting because these streamers, though, do make films that go to theaters too. I mean,
yeah,
that
some of
was
them
one of the
go
big things they've done.
yeah, but they're a little bit their theatrical run is a little bit shorter, and that's kind
Hmm.
of like a back and forth debate. And some of these streamers have changed their strategy.
Well, I mean, I'm curious because essentially right before the writers actors strike, the streamers had sort of a coming to moment where they realized their models weren't working. They had already, even before the strikes, started to change into that like ad based system where even though you were paying, now you're paying for the opportunity to view with ads, and then you can pay even more without for some of them. And what was going on in the industry before that time and before the strikes was like an influx of movies being made, shows being made, about especially a lot of movies, high budget movies from these streamers. And then it's the last chunk of time, it's been very slow for the industry. And I'm curious if part of their new model is they're not going to release in theaters. They're releasing sort of bigger movies just on their platform as a means to get people to keep their subscriptions.
Well, that's Netflix's strategy for sure, and they're sort of
Mhm.
like we're not in the theater game, blah blah blah. Amazon, they are more into doing things in theaters, and they've I think announced that next year they're planning to put 12 to 14 movies in theaters.
Mm.
Apple's got kind of like a hybrid strategy as well. They'll put a movie in theaters for like a couple weeks and then it's going to be on streaming shortly after. But these three in particular, Fountain of Youth by Apple, Heads of State for Amazon, and Happy Gilmore 2 are all straight to streaming. None of them are having a limited
Mm.
theatrical release. Unless when these movies come, unless they change as we get closer to their release dates. But as of now, these are all straight streamers.
Interesting. Cool.
Before we dive in, so our when we do our ratings, they'll be slightly modified. Obviously, we won't have the option to see it in theaters, so our options would be stream it opening weekend. I guess like maybe that's
Hmm.
just going to show if you're most interested in it. You would say I'll stream it opening weekend, or you'll put it on your watch list. You know, you'll get to it. You're interested, but you'll just kind of get to it, or you're skip. I think those kind of like the two, unless you have a fourth one you want to add. But I think that will be just sort of modified ratings
Yeah,
scale.
that makes sense.
Cool. All right, let's do it. Fountain of Youth. We'll do this in order of release. So, Fountain of Youth. This is directed by Guy Ritchie, starring John Krasinski, Natalie Portman, Isaac Gonzalez, and it's coming out on May 23rd on Apple TV. So, what do you think? Instant thoughts. What stood out?
My first thought, this. I mean, it's also this concept. The way I don't know the way they made this movie rubbed me, and maybe it's just the trailer. I'm like, okay, what's the pitch here? It's Indiana Jones meets the librarian meets the Da Vinci Code, and from the opening shot with the library where they're entering or whatever, they just kind of dropped the ball a little bit for me. The CGI of the flags, which clearly stands out different from the library, and then also for some reason the even the color temp, the saturation of the blue where there's like that little blue tent on the left side of the image when they're in that overhead shot, and it's just so bright. They just, I don't know, like, pumped up the saturation for what effect? That's what the entire trailer felt like to me. Like, I feel like just thinking of different basic elements, like the score, it, like, tries to be epic, but it's not for me. Like, it's not moving in the same way that, like, an Indiana Jones was, or a little bit absurdly like The Librarian was, or kind of the way that the lines are used in this trailer with, like, "Oh, the Holy Grail," they reveal that. Okay, yeah, that's Indiana Jones, except for now it's kind of vaguely maybe comedic or action. I don't even know exactly, is this like an action comedy? Is it an action? It just felt to me like they highlighted that they spent a lot of money to make a movie that, I'm gonna throw it out there. I imagine AI could generate by taking a bunch of movies that did well in the past and combining it together. That's my initial take. I got some other thoughts, but that was my initial take. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, well, I one thing I don't agree on is using Indiana Jones's character or his name when talking about this movie. Like, that's too good for
Oh, yeah, no,
this.
I just meant they're trying to, like, I mean, The Last
No, I
Crusade,
know,
I
but I
mean,
feel
literally
like
the search for
no,
the Holy
no,
Grail, and he's, like, trying to be Indiana Jones.
no, I
It's
get
an
it.
insult
It's
to
just like
Indiana Jones. I got
it's
you.
an
I fully
insult to
agree.
use
Yeah.
his Indiana Jones name title when talking about this movie. So I think this is the first trailer that came out, and there's another one I think, but we're just reviewing, dissecting this one. I think the overall the trailer's just terribly cut together. Like the opening back and forth between Krasinski and Portman plays almost like a cold table reading performance
Mhm.
slash
Mhm.
borderline SNL skit
Sketch.
as
Yeah, yeah.
they like each time they cut back and forth they're emphasizing.
"Hey, did you miss me? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna give you the information about my relationship to you and why this is a setup."
yeah, they're just emphasizing this exposition in each back and forth moment, and it's just like, is this how you're opening this trailer? And it's really bad. And like, look, I get that it's in a trailer, you need to explain a bit to the audiences that the who, the what, the where, the why, and the how. Especially for some, for new properties, new characters, new stories. But like, this was just like bad.
Mhm.
That opening, just I'm just gonna harp on this first like 10 seconds because it's like this is how you're grabbing me. It's just not very exciting, and they're
Mhm.
trying to force this excitement. After
Mhm.
Natalie Portman says that might take a while, we haven't spoken in a year. They cut three generic motorcycle chase shots against like percussive heavy sound cue,
Mhm.
ending with Krasinski's character on a scooter looking ridiculous, looking behind him, and it's like, ugh. So yeah, that the opening seconds just didn't do it for me, and it's like, okay, this is not gonna be good.
Yeah. Well, and also, this is sort of a pet peeve of mine. Every character, first of all, looks like they're in designer clothes. And even though they are jumping around in archaeological digs or different areas, it looks like all of their clothes are completely clean pressed, recently steamed, and have some kind of magical dirt like expeller that makes dirt never stick to it. And it's like, even there's a shot of that little kid, where's that? I mean, there's so many shots, it just keeps jumping, but there's the shot of, like, it goes back generations. This is the thing they stole from, Da Vinci Code of, like, it connects this and this. And they got the shot of the little kid, and his, like, the most perfectly clean clothes I've ever seen, and I'm assuming this is, like, young, to I'm gonna steal a little from, are you going to YouTube Corner for this one or not yet? Or you didn't have any
No,
prepped?
I
Okay, so I'm gonna steal from your YouTube Corner because I'm on the page. I'm gonna steal from Jim Deanna Jones. I assume it's a young Jim Deanna Jones. One of the top responses is they could have called it Jim Deanna Jones, which I think is
I saw
great. And
that
then
one.
another one is identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Said by Indiana Jones. But yeah, like it felt like this is it felt like, I swear they're gonna come out and be like, this script was written by AI, and this trailer was edited by AI to pique your interest on what, and the algorithms all said, "This is what moviegoers want to see." And, like, people don't like dirty clothes, and Apple pays a lot of money, and they don't pay money for dirty clothes, so all the clothes are clean. Like, I, like,
It
literally wrote this
feels
in. Yeah, go ahead.
it feels like with a few changes to this, like to the extreme, like cheesy bad, like I feel
Mhm.
like it could be a fake movie that is part of like Apple's show, The Studio, which if you
Mhm,
haven't checked
mhm.
out, it's really funny. It feels like it would be part of that if they just kind of just like went more absurd. And I think it's just only a few more notches and it's there. Like John Krasinski looks really cringe in it. Like I don't think he does light-hearted kind of fair well, like these type of movies.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like he does better with more dramatic serious
He does,
material. Like
like, action or The Office.
yeah, like if like he was just like
Mhm.
like I know you don't like scary movies or monster movies really, but did you see A Quiet Place?
Oh,
Like
yeah, of
he's
course
good
I
in
did.
that.
He's great in
Yeah.
that. He's great in that. He
Yeah,
also
he's
wrote
great.
that.
And
He
like
wrote and directed
yeah,
it though,
yeah,
too.
he's good in that. Jack Ryan, I've seen an episode of Jack Ryan. He's
I've
good in
I've seen the
that.
whole series. I've seen the whole series. He's great in that.
13 Hours, military movie. He's good in that, but like I don't know.
Mhm.
I think maybe he just doesn't do this kind of like middle ground
But
stuff.
it's I don't want to fault just the acting. Like movies are made it takes a village. And I feel like, I just paused the trailer at 39 seconds in and it's like Natalie Portman, John Krasinski, they're in the library. It's got like gold columns that are super, like shiny, everything's pristine. Like he's got this giant scarf on. Natalie Portman's got a tie. Everybody looks like they just came out of their wardrobe fitting before anything got adjusted to, like, we're real people who wear clothes, and those clothes get worn more than
Yeah.
this first time they got put on.
Yeah, I think all of his outfits look ridiculous, especially the one at the end. Like what is he? Is he like in a disguise
Oh, yes. Oh gosh.
where he's wearing that like I don't know what kind of hat is that? Like the
Yeah, yeah,
barbershop hat,
yeah, it's
like
a
and like
barbershop hat, like, if
glasses?
it's yes, it's clearly a dis
Why?
and she and Natalie Portman's wearing a different tie because her character wears pantsuits with ties that match the pantsuits. But it also, like, even that shot, The Saint with Val Kilmer, he plays a lot of different characters and it blends in and it's super like this shot looks actually like a thought that I had when watching this trailer, which is this an action or is it supposed to be a comedy? Because we know like Indiana Jones is like an action movie with comedy, right? He's got some like great comedic moments. Especially like Last Crusade. This one feels like it's not sure how to do the action with comedy. And so is maybe doing action and comedy, but it's not an action comedy. And therefore like the design, oh, his outfit is supposed to be humorous, but he blends in, but like it just looks weird.
I wonder if like his character we learned that like his main job he's some sort of like fashion
He's a clown. Oh, sorry.
a fashion designer or not a designer or a fashion sort of like journalist, but like on the side he goes on archaeological expeditions and
That would be hilarious, and then in the middle, they have, like, "Wait a second, sis. We've gotta do a fashion show." Uh,
yes.
well, let's see, when he's talking to her on the balcony, uh oh, she's not wearing a tie, so maybe he just insists on his sister wearing a tie whenever they're together. But I think maybe the whole thing is it's a trick and this trailer is just edited really badly. I don't know, I feel like, as you said, they started it off with this robotic, we're giving you the premise in not great dialogue to set it up that yeah, just do better. I mean, like, I can't I don't know if it's the critique of the trailer or it's just like that maybe this is the best the trailer editor could do with the movie because the entire movie is this and they're trying to pull things to get people excited and it's like, "Oh, clearly there's a big chase scene, I'm guessing in Italy or whatever, wherever they went to do this."
Another thing that I thought like just the going back to the construction of this trailer, like they used Krasinski's, I'm assuming it's dialogue throughout, but like they use it as VO, and it's just like really, it's again, I don't know if it's a performance or just like the script of it. It's just like terrible. It just doesn't feel real. It just feels very on another planet. It just like does not feel like this is real, and it just seems like it's just like a like it's just like a joke. I don't know. It
Well, it's
does
well,
not
the other
work
thing
for me.
the other thing is, I think sometimes they try and fit too much into a trailer. Like, we haven't even talked about the Knights of the Templar or whatever, that secret society that's protecting the the Fountain of Youth, the Last Crusade, whatever you want to call it, uh,
Yeah.
with their, person who goes to attack him, the femme fatale. Like they just throw that in. And they're like, "Oh, let's add this other thing in there because there's not enough that we're throwing at you at once." That I feel like this also is an example of a trailer that is like just throwing so many different things at once without a clear idea of the story they're trying to tell, unless they're trying to just do it chronologically. And then that's not really telling a story. That's just trying to shrink down the film
Yeah.
itself. Like I feel like one of the aspects of trailer design is knowing the story you're trying to tell with that trailer. Like it's a mini story. It's as you said always, it's like the pitch for having you watch the movie. And I guess I fall in the camp that is like that pitch is not here's just small clips from every part of the movie.
Yeah. I also don't think the jokes, the jokes, I'm putting quotation marks around the jokes, aren't
Mhm.
funny. Like I very much dislike the cat in the bag joke scene. It doesn't land for me. It's
Oh, yeah,
terrible.
the reveal, that wasn't funny at all. I agree.
Yeah, like the jokes that are like sort of sprinkled around, they're trying to be jokes, don't work. And finally, like the U2 song at the end, they use I don't think they use any words from it. They use the instrumental from a U2 song.
Mhm.
It's just overly cheesy, like that cue at the end.
It could just be the chemistry too. I mean, maybe Natalie Portman and John Krasinski just don't have any chemistry, and so therefore that's where you're getting. I mean, you need
Hmm.
chemistry for comedy to work.
Yeah. Also,
And
and
maybe
not to harp on the bat. Yeah, yeah, and I mean they're playing brother and sister, estranged siblings. It just, I think she's making it too. She's playing it too hard or something. I don't know. Like again, not to harp on the acting, but it just she looks terrible in it. Like, and like if you go back and look at her like scenes, like she's just like emphasizing her words with her mouth to say things, and it's just like why? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Well, okay, I'm gonna harp on one last thing too, is just going back to the, like, designer clothes. If you look at, like, a minute and 2 seconds into this trailer, it's they're about to, put on their scarves that are covering their faces to go that later on shows, like, a fight sequence.
Mhm.
Her scarf is is the cleanest I've ever seen a scarf. It's white. And then you see her, like, outfit is some kind of designer, top, and her sleeves are well, like, creased, and there's dust on the outside of the car. Like, literally, you can see some dust prints and fingerprints on the outside of the car, and yet the inside of the car looks like it is brand new. Like, nobody has ever sat in that car before this moment. Like they drove this to set, they wheeled up the windows, and they were like, "Okay, let's make sure it's clean, and then we're gonna shoot. We're gonna roll down the windows for the first time." Like it just, I don't know. It bugs me. It's like when a cup gets placed down. It's like at a police precinct, and they put a cup down, and the sound design is an empty cup, and you can
Mhm.
tell it sounds like an empty cup, or somebody's carrying supposedly heavy groceries in their bags, and the bags look full, except for there's no weight to them, and so the way they carry it just doesn't match. It's the little things that I mean, and it's that's not the fault of the trailer. It's the way the film was done. That said, Guy Ritchie has made some good films, so maybe there's some greater thing that we're missing. I don't know.
Is there anything in this trailer that you did like?
Uh, John Krasinski's outfit in his first scene, that like brown three-piece suit, looks pretty awesome.
Wait, so okay, so you've been it seems like you've been
I like
criticizing.
his I don't think it looks good for, the movie, but I just think it looks like a nice suit.
It's a good outfit,
Like,
something out of Esquire or GQ.
that what is it, Aston Martin or whatever that car is in the car chase scene that they use a
Uh-huh.
lot, like, that's a cool looking car.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it is a cool looking car. I like the car.
Um, the fact that the reveal scene of with Natalie Portman of like, "Oh, it's the Holy Grail." That reminds me of not Theory of Everything. What was the other one that came out? Cracking the Code for World War, II.
Imitation Game.
Yeah, Imitation Game. It reminds me of the room from Imitation Game. Yeah, I mean, the set even, like a minute and 37 seconds in, they're like jumping around a set, and that set looks like it's a designed set. It doesn't look real. It doesn't have any
Oh
dirt
wait,
or anything. I think it's a mini.
which? Which set?
The one it, like, looks like it's the inside of some kind of,
It's like stone steps and
yeah,
all that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, that was clean fire. What I actually going to the one thing I did like
Mhm,
that it seems like there's a lot of actual physical sets, real sets that they built or they're on
mhm.
location. That's cool. There's obviously like a VFX water sequence there you could tell, and but that I like that the real sets, the real locations. That I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of, like, the reveal, like, near the end, there's this reveal on the floor of something opening up, which, again, very similar to, like, Last Crusade, and they break down and they go underneath the library or whatever, or
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
museum. But it's just like, is this new? Is this anything that we like? Why do we want to see this one compared to just going back and watching the last Indiana Jones and Last Crusade? And this sort of goes into a general kind of concept because there's like the new Lilo and Stitch as live action, but the cartoon was great. And we've talked about this before. The Lion King that was done live action. There's a new How to Train Your Dragon, which is live action based on the cartoon. It's like, do we need the same thing we already all saw? And sometimes it's better the first time. Again.
Well, I mean, I think this is a little bit different. They're trying to. It's not like they're remaking Indiana Jones here. I think it's like, oh, we have an idea for our own Indiana Jones National Treasure Librarian Da Vinci Code movie. Again, like that world is maybe not original, but or that sort of concept, but like it's I think it's a little bit different, but like yeah, I mean, this doesn't. I guess we can jump into our ratings. I think this doesn't look good to me. I'll skip it, and yeah, I'll just like you said, I'll just rewatch. I'd rather rewatch National Treasure. That was fun.
I'll be one level up if nothing else on. I will probably put this on like if I've run out of things to watch, I'd throw this on just to see. I might not make it all the way through. I probably will, but I'd throw it on and just be like, uh-huh. But yeah, I'm like not motivated to see it in this. There's nothing
It's
it's
good. I'm not motivated either. Unfortunately, and like I like these kind of movies. I like
Mhm.
the
No, 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 me too, me
adventure.
too, me too.
And trying to chase for something, an artifact that's fun, and the danger and the excitement and the chase. But like, there's a lot of elements in this presented in this trailer that just doesn't make it look exciting or good for me.
Yeah.
So skip it. All right, so next one. What do we got? The next
Heads of
one
State,
we
Heads of
Heads
State.
of State. All right, Heads of State. This is an Amazon original movie. All right, so
I don't know about
directed.
original, but it's an Amazon Originals movie.
It's Amazon. All right, or whatever. Amazon Prime. They Amazon Studios like they need to work on their branding. So it's directed by Ilya Naishiller, director of Nobody, Hardcore Henry. Stars John Cena, Idris Elba, and it's premiering on Amazon Prime on July 2nd, Prime Summer Weekend. So what stood out?
Um,
Thoughts?
so like I really enjoyed Nobody. I thought it was like a uniquely done way on it. The main thing that stood out is like I feel like John Cena and Idris Elba have been playing variations on these characters in a lot of movies recently. So the main thing that stood out to me, I was like, oh, this is a remake of the 1996 My Fellow Americans, starring Jack Lemmon and James Garner, which is a great movie and has I think Dan Aykroyd in it. That one's like an action comedy, heavy on the comedy.
Wait,
Uh,
so I've never saw that.
oh, that movie's
Is it an action I mean, I know it's a comedy, but like,
it's
is there
I mean I
guns
mean
and
I will tell you the premise of My Fellow Americans from 1996. You have a Republican played by James Garner who had is a one-term president. You have Jack Lemmon who is a Democrat who had one-term president. They are ex-presidents and on a helicopter flight home somebody tries to blow up the helicopter and kill the two ex-presidents, but they escape. And they know there's been a big security breach and somebody's after them, and they have to make their way back to stop whatever is going on that is trying to like have them killed to take over the White House or whatever. And so it is a comedy of these two ex-presidents on the older side compared to these,
Hmm.
and but they're like trying to survive an assassination attempt and evade further attempts.
Huh. I did not know that.
Hmm. I mean, this is so like me watching this, I was like, oh, somebody saw that movie and is like, I'm gonna do an updated variation on it. So that was the big thing that stood out to me, just because like I do like My Fellow Americans. I didn't, it's 1996. I definitely didn't see it in theaters. I watched it on, I don't know, TV sometime, and then
Hmm.
but I've rewatched it. I think it holds up, and a young Dan Aykroyd.
Youngish, but yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, that was 30 years ago, right? Oy. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's gotta be.
so the other thing that stood out is like, okay, there, John. I like John Cena. He plays a lot of these now, like action comedies. John Cena's good at comedy. Idris Elba, kind of playing into it, and
He's a straight man.
he's a straight man, but also like, I liked sort of the little banter at the beginning, kind of the prime minister thing. It almost gave me like a throwback feel of Love Actually between Hugh Grant and uh what was it? Oh, who plays the American president?
I can't help you because I never saw it.
Oh my gosh. He was
And there's an
married to
American
he's
Brett. What?
married to Angelina Jolie. Billy Bob Thornton. So Billy Bob
Oh.
Thornton has like just a guest spot playing like a very kind of full of himself American president. And they just have like this one moment where they have, they're on the stage duetting, as they said in this trailer, and sort of go back and forth. So I thought the premise, other than not being original, is like one we haven't seen in a while. I think they did a good setup. I love the fact that they dropped the like, oh, we're like Dr. Dre and Eminem, and I'm Dre and you're Eminem. You get kind of the banter. It shows that they've got good chemistry. Like, unlike the one we just talked about, it feels like John Cena and Idris Elba do have like a nice chemistry between them.
Yeah,
Where
I
they,
agree.
like when they make fun of each other, you feel it and it's good, but it's like it's playful jabbing. And then I also enjoyed the fact that the music later on with Eminem singing and everything is that nod back to that original line from the movie, that I thought that was really well placed in the scheme of like designing the trailer. You've got this Eminem song. I think it might even be featuring Dre or something.
Yeah,
I
I
know
think
it
so.
was featuring somebody that like that's how that's you're thinking of the whole story, which especially in comparison to Fountain of Youth, I thought, like, right off the bat, they're like, "Okay, cool. You're hitting it, and you've set up without having to say, 'Hey, I'm an action star who's not really good at action.'" Like, you set up the jabbing between the two of them of, oh, John Cena's character is kind of full of himself but doesn't actually know anything, that you reveal in the fight sequence, Idris Elba's character, like, kicking everybody's ass, that you have that nice juxtaposition and the setup. And then I was just two more things and then I'll stop. But I got other stuff too. But like then they threw in the like, I am your savior. I am the one person wrecking crew of again, the femme fatale. It seems to be like a theme that Hollywood's leaning heavy on these days.
Hmm.
You got ballerina, you've got this fountain of youth, you've got heads of state. Like I feel like it's a I don't want to say it's a trope these days, but it's like the female who is highly trained and kicks everybody's butt and doesn't need backup. And she just, she comes in to save them. And then Jack Quaid playing the character that Jack Quaid always plays now as like this guest humor action kind of character.
I
Uh,
think I feel
I
like
mean,
he's actually doing something a little different. It seems like he's like this like goofy guy
he never plays a goofy guy. You are correct. He's never a goofy guy,
in
except,
Companion, which you haven't seen yet.
okay,
He's not
except
playing
for
a
I've
goofy
maybe
guy.
companion. Yeah. I mean,
No,
don't get me
like
wrong.
I
Don't get me wrong. I think Jack Wade's probably going to be hilarious in this. I think I highly enjoy him in things. It's just like he's in so many things as very similar.
yeah, he's definitely in a lot of stuff. I like the badass female help Priyanka.
Hmm.
She looks I mean, she's I don't really see her in a lot of stuff, so it's nice to see someone different
Hmm.
in a role. Jack Quaid, I was like, all right, another Jack Quaid, but again, he's not starring in this, so it's like
Hmm.
he's just sort of like it seems like he's like the
Comedic
master
relief.
of the comedic relief, a master of arms character who
Hmm.
supplies weapons and bombs and gadgets, and he just like loves that stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
The, like, Danny
Um,
McBride of
yeah, yeah, and or if it was like Q from James Bond, so,
Mhm.
but just a little bit more not polished.
Yep.
What stood out to me, John Cena playing dumb characters makes me laugh, and especially characters where like they have this like false bravado. They're like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
tough,
Yeah.
and all that, but then it's really like, oh no, you play tough, but you're not tough. And that like yin yang opposites between his character, and Idris Elba's character, being the straight man, and he's obviously has. I'm sure he's gonna have like a military background,
Yeah.
where
Oh, yeah.
he knows how to take care of himself in these situations because he's done it for real, as opposed to being doing it in front of a camera on a movie set.
Mhm.
I think the action looks fun and exciting, despite a lot of VFX in there. But I think just the sort of tone of the movie, I kind of let that slide. It doesn't really take me out as much as like other movies. Like, trying to think of another movie. Did you see Gray Man?
Yeah. Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it Netflix? That like the tone is different, but like there's just terrible sequences of CGI and VFX in there. The one negative I think of this trailer, I think they showed too much in the trailer. You could probably map out the three acts of the movie. Like it just shows so much.
No, no, yeah, I mean, I made a note of, like, the last 20 seconds of action that we saw in this trailer, I didn't need. Like, it didn't add anything more, it was just,
Hmm.
like, more action, but they already did a good job of the action. Like,
Yeah.
one thing, and I think, it plays to, I guess, the script and the way this film is made, but it works really well for the trailer, is they don't need the exposition because they can show it, right? You always wanna show and not, like, tell. The moment when they're fighting the, like, farmers or whatever after they parachute out of the plane,
Hmm.
and you see Idris Elba's character kicking everybody's butt. And then you see John Cena's character like get punched and then falls, and the only thing he does to hurt the bad guy is like he falls onto a door, and that slams the door against the bad guy's hand, and the bad guy gets hurt. But it's like, oh, you like easily see the capabilities of each, and the trash talk they were talking earlier played out so quickly and so much better. Like you just get it, and you even get it with the humor of these sort of farmer kind of hillbilly-esque at time, like, look, getting ready to beat him. That John Cena's great line of like, Idris Elba, I think says, oh, we're about to get our butts kicked. And then John Cena be like, read the room, buddy. And then gets punched in the face. Like, it's just great that like that timing,
Hmm.
and the setup, but also how much you can see. I thought just was a good job. It was like a great way to do it right.
Yeah. And there's some really cool, funny sight gags, like, and I think it's part of where they're fighting those farmers or the local guys.
Mhm.
There's a shot from inside one of the guy's mouth with the tooth knocked out, and it just
Mhm.
like pans
Mhm.
over from John Cena. It's like some really funny sight gags like that are cool. I like how they play with the editing of the trailer to cut against the music. Not, I mean, that's very common in like these kind of action movies, but
Mhm.
then also like pairing it with the action of what's happening on screen, like specifically when like Idris flips the gun, big M16 type of gun, toward the bad guy, and
Mhm.
they're like doing this like hand patty cake thing, smacking on the gun. If you look at that, and it just like fits very, it's edited nicely against the music, and I thought that was cool. And it just kind of just like, oh, this is look, it just building this rhythm, and it's really fun.
I also thought, a minute and 20 in, it's a very and I really like this about it, it's sort of the, like, we don't need to show you everything. A minute and 20 in is this sort of, like, other gang coming to kill them. They're all in black, some of them are in riot gear. It's clearly, like, the 2 main enforcers, this woman and this guy who's got a
Hmm.
gun, but it's like, they just show you for a second, and then you sort of see pieces of them in some fight sequences, but it's nice that, like, we don't really know what that is. And
Yeah.
I think that's the sign of like a good action trailer is you want to know more. You want to see it because you haven't seen it all.
But yeah, there's a lot of fun gags, like the camera. Like there's a shot of like Idris Elba in the stairway
Oh yeah, the
holding a
90
machine gun
degree
in.
turn.
Yeah, that 90-degree camera turn is pretty cool. Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
some. It looks fun, but at the end, I think at the we were you kind of were making a joke about Amazon original. Did you catch the title at the end?
New original movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also I'm gonna go back to what I harped on for Fountain of Youth because I feel like maybe I'm just shouting out to a little bit of the wardrobe teams of these big budget movies.
You're really on the wardrobe today.
Okay. Well, you tell me this. You're
Hmm.
wearing a suit, you're in Air Force One or whatever plane. It gets
Yeah.
attacked, it gets bombed, you've got smoke, you got all these things going. You get jump out of a plane. First of all, you're like sweating and whatever because you're running around. You jump out of the plane, you're in these parachutes. You parachute down, you got to land somewhere, right? Like you're landing somewhere where you're not necessarily trained on this, so you're going to land on the ground and maybe roll or whatever. They get to these
Hmm.
they're like get to the farmers and like their clothes are pristine. They're in the back of the truck shot at 104. They're with like a bunch of sheep. And first of all, they've got their suit jackets still on. The suit jackets, no rips, no anything. They're like, oh, they undid their tie a little bit. But like the John Cena, they're both out wearing white shirts, not wrinkled, no dirt on it. I'm just like, really? I mean, a minute and 10 in when they're about to fight the farmers, John Cena's got a little bruise on his chin.
Little
Idris
scrape.
Elba has a scrape on his forehead, but their white shirts are super clean. The gray suit that Idris Elba's wearing, not a wrinkle. John Cena, that American flag button
Well,
still on,
don't they
like,
make? I mean, I haven't worn a suit or bought a suit in forever, but
a
like, aren't there like,
bulletproof, impossible to destroy suit for the
well,
president.
aren't they like, don't they have like this wrinkle free suits and stuff? Like maybe they got that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you don't really see it. It doesn't look dirty. I don't know. So yeah, yeah, whatever.
I just
The
like it's
wardrobe's that's the you're really on a wardrobe kick today.
Well, it takes me it's like takes me out of the thing. Like I think, when you have a film that's shot in 24 frames and you have the normal hertz, but you have a TV that's set to the higher hertz of sports shows where you just see the peripherals much cleaner. It
Hmm.
makes the sets pop out and it makes sets that aren't, actual on location seem kind of fake
Well,
visually.
that's not an
It
issue
just
anymore.
no, no,
I mean,
but it like it pulls you out, I think. So I think for me, like wardrobe not making sense continuity wise. I mean, we have script supervisors for continuity. It just I don't know. Maybe I'm just in that mood today.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, that didn't bother me.
Uh,
The wardrobe in Fountain of Youth is just like, ugh, what are they wearing? Like, hey, mostly John Krasinski just bothered me. It's like his outfits and like his costumes. Like, oh my god,
Angels
is
off
his?
of John Krasinski. He's off of John Krasinski, guys. All right.
What's your
What's your
rating?
verdict? Oh, am I going on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I I'm not watching this opening weekend, but I'd save this to my watch list. I'd watch this. I think it would be a fun movie to watch. I think when you have two leads and they've got good chemistry, regardless of the movie, it's usually a good watch.
Yeah. I'd stream it. I'd watch it on my. I'd put it on my watch list. I'd stream it. Probably won't watch it opening weekend unless I've nothing's going on. But it's rare that like if for a streaming movie, a streaming only movie, like I'm doing it like right away, like watching it right
Yeah.
away. So I definitely stream. I think it just could be a fun, stupid summer movie.
Mhm.
Just little popcorn.
And I bet it has some good action too with the comedy.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to our next?
Happy Gilmore 2 from Netflix. This is directed by Kyle Newacek. He's done Murder Mystery with Adam Sandler, Game Over Man, two big movies or two Netflix movies.
Two
The
movies
guy
that were on
two
Netflix.
two movies that were on Netflix. I don't want to say they were big, but yeah, he's worked with Adam Sandler before, and yeah, he does stuff with Netflix. I saw Game Over Man. It was pretty funny
I
years
saw it
ago when
too.
that came out.
It I thought it was good for I mean, it was in the standard for that group, right? Because there was it Workaholics? What was the web series or whatever series that they did? And then this
Yeah, I
was
think it
their
was
movie.
Workaholics. And
Yeah.
who's Adam? Is it Adam Devine?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
That's in yeah. I thought it was all right. All right. So this is starring Adam Sandler, Margaret Qualley, and Julie Bowen, among others. I think there's a huge like cameo list supposedly
Mhm.
in this movie.
Mhm.
And it's coming out July 25th on Netflix. This movie is 29 years in the making. The first one came out 29 years ago. I guess just the background on that. Were you a Happy Gilmore or OG fan?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love the original.
Okay. Yeah. And are you in general, I guess, like, because this is like the
I'm in general,
heyday
I'm no, I
of
was
like Adam Sandler
dude,
fan?
I saw Waterboy, arguably one of the stupidest Adam Sandler movies, I think at least twice in theaters.
I did too. I did too in high school. Yeah, I remember going with some friends. I think it was a girl that I was dating, whatever. Yeah, I wasn't a huge or I wasn't a huge Billy Madison
Really? Oh,
fan. I
I mean,
liked it, but I
I
wasn't like, oh my god, this is the best movie ever. You know, I rented that, rented Happy Gilmore, saw Waterboy in theaters. I think my like favorite Adam Sandler
was
movie.
clicked.
Clicked. I don't even think I saw that.
Oh god, don't watch it. It is not good. I watched it.
I've I haven't seen a lot of his like pre-Netflix movies, like Little Nicky. Didn't see. I
Saw
like
that.
Big Daddy. Big Daddy was
Yeah,
fun,
saw Big Daddy.
but Wedding Singer I think is
Wedding Singer's great. Spanglish is also him. I mean, there's yeah, I may have seen most, if not all of Adam Sandler's movies.
yeah. Okay, so all right, just set the stage there. So okay, so you do have affinity. You're not like turned off by Adam Sandler and all that. Okay, cool. So what stood out?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go very specific to me here, and the biggest thing that stood out to me about this trailer is that I'm not in this movie. Um, so I auditioned for, I'm pretty sure, the caddy role, didn't get it.
The
The
caddy role,
caddy,
like
like
a
the cat,
caddy or
no,
like
the caddy,
his
the one,
caddy?
his caddy. I'm pretty sure it was
Really?
the yeah, his caddy.
Oh.
And you see the caddy only for a second when he breaks the club. I think it's like 34 seconds in. No, no, 55 seconds in. The caddy breaks the club. Um,
Mhm.
so auditioned for that, clearly didn't get it because that's not me. And then I was on hold for another part in the movie, which I can't talk about. And for those not aware, on hold means, oh, they like you and they'll get back to you if they actually are casting you or not. But they're maybe probably casting you. I'm also not in the movie at whatever part that would come in because I didn't get cast. So that's the biggest thing that jumped out to me. The second biggest thing is one of the reasons, and this sort of goes to one thing you said about the number of celebrity roles. What I heard about this film, and one of the reasons the less likely you'll see actors that aren't giant names in here, is very much like Coming to America 2. It was sort of this like so many years in the making. A lot of celebrities wanted to get in on the movie, or like, I just want to be in this movie. Can you put me in this movie?
Mm.
And so I think it is going to be very celebrity laden. I am worried it will be similar to Coming to America 2, which I loved Coming to America, the original. The second one was just filled with celebrities and also just dropped the ball for me.
Just like cameos, just like
Yeah, it
all
was
over
just
the
all
place.
cameos, and then the story was just not as strong. Like, if you got that time, make a good story. This one, I'm I'm curious. I think they set up the trailer well. It's very much in the, like, Happy Gilmore slash middle part of Rocky 3, where he's like, "Oh, I don't think I'm good enough anymore, but I'm gonna," what's his motivation to get back out there? I'm curious. It's got that, like, the standard weird kooky guy giving him advice. It's at 26 seconds in from the bench, and it's just like, you just gotta, hit away at the ball.
Mhm.
Uh, and so I think it's hitting all of the old staples. So it feels like the trailer, and maybe the film also, but the trailer definitely is leaning towards like the audience who like the original.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think I don't think there was, like, much of the actual story in there beyond, "I'm giving you clips," this trailer. I feel like the person who d when they designed this trailer, it was like, "I'm giving you clips to make you nostalgic for the first one and showing you that we haven't gone far from that."
Yeah. Well,
But not
it is a teaser. I forgot this is
the teaser trailer.
they're classified as a teaser. So yeah, there is not a lot of story shown in that. It's just like, hey, this is Adam Sandler. He's back. We're doing Happy Gilmore 2. Here's some a bunch of a montage of clips and some hopefully some funny things. We know you're there if you're a Happy Gilmore fan.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's like, I don't think it didn't do much to pull me in. Like, what's going on that makes me wanna see this other than just nostalgia from this teaser trailer? And I'm not sure, and they did almost a thing like, I wanna say from the original, where he does something and he's like, "Oh no, I'm sorry," and then the crowd cheers. Like they do that at the ending shot where he breaks the golfatron. I don't know what those things are actually called. The indoor golfing thing.
Oh yeah, the simulator.
I'm trying to remember the movie he did with Drew Barrymore recently, where they're both
Uh,
parents. They're both single parents. Adam Sandler's character like works for a sporting goods store. I'd be really curious if the sporting goods store is Dick's because in the Golfatron scene, minute and 20 in, there is like a Dick's sporting goods logo that I think that'd be
mhm.
an amusing nod to another one of his movies if that was the case. But yeah, I don't know. There wasn't like much to the design of this trailer
Yeah,
for me.
what I mean, it wasn't that much of an exciting teaser, and I think if you're a bigger fan of Happy Gilmore and Adam Sandler, maybe you'd be like, "Oh my God, you're salivating!" Like, "Oh yes, this is it, finally, finally." It didn't really kick in for me like until like that song "Magic" kicks off the montage. I was like, "All right, it's kind of getting into it." When it kicks in. I forget when it does, but yeah, not much to it. Netflix is definitely going big with this, like with the title card at the end. They're just like
Yes.
breaking out the bold and gold
But I
titles and
think
just like
this goes
emphasizing the
with the thing
release
of
date.
like this is the reason to keep your subscription.
Yeah, I can see
is
that.
we're and maybe we'll pull in this at least for a month of people who like the original. But I also it's a rarity that sequels for movies like this have done well, right? I mean, or not necessarily done well, but like have been reviewed high, like with a high Rotten Tomato score or whatever. I mean, you've got Coming to America too, but you've also got the what is it like the Dumb and Dumber sequel. There's just a lot of like comedies that have taken a really long time, and it's sort of what worked at the time was the magic that existed in those characters and that. And
Hmm.
unless you do a big shift where this does not seem like it's doing that, you're just sort of rinse and repeating
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure his track record for Rotten Tomatoes is probably
all over the
really
place.
low. I don't know what they have the ranking here, if there's a way to like see his ranking, but
I mean, he has some great movies. I mean,
oh yeah, he does. But like in terms of like this stuff, this like comedy stuff, it's like I don't think it's that high.
but yeah, I just think as a teaser, it definitely teased
Hmm.
of you're getting more of the same, but slightly different, but not that far off that people who love the original are going to be annoyed that they did something different. Just the question is the story going to be interesting enough to be able to keep up with the original? And they did not tease that very well.
I feel like a lot of times with these like legacy sequels, I think they just like to just like, well, let's just revise the original. Like I don't know
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
story's gonna be about, but it looks like maybe he's getting kicked out of his house. He has to move out, and wasn't that the house that he saved for his grandmother in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
original?
yeah. He had saved
So
for his
like, what if
grandmother,
it's
had to
like,
buy it, and
and now maybe he has to go back and play golf to save it again? Yeah, so it's sort of like a repeat, or
but
I
now
mean,
he's got a daughter, at least one.
in
I
the
assume
movie.
that yeah, yeah, in the movie, isn't
Oh,
there? I
okay.
mean, I'm assuming there was like sort of a gentle music sequence and he's like there's somebody coming out of their apartment in a yellow outfit 37 seconds in like a workout clothes and kind
Hmm.
of like tops the hat and he responds in a similar way. Seemed very like fatherly, but
Oh,
maybe it's cute neighbor who's way too young for him. I don't know. And then there's the sequence in or moment at 50 seconds in where it might be the like a anger management or some kind of group thing
that
where there's a
looks
young
like his.
woman.
That looks like his actual daughter. Like her face looks the girl with the tattoos
Yeah.
on her arm.
I
That actually
mean I
looks like
mean,
if
the way we hear it,
could be a daughter.
I'm sure his entire family's in there and every celebrity that you can name. I'm sure John
What
Krasinski comes in with a scarf, Natalie
that
Portman
would
in a
be the only
tie.
thing I guess that would make me like okay, curious to see the celebrities. Oh, so going back to you said you auditioned for the caddy and you think
Yeah.
it's the caddy that like breaks the golf club. That actor is Bad Bunny. He's the musician, rapper,
Oh, okay.
Spanish
Yeah,
rapper.
yeah.
So, I mean, you could
Yep.
say you
There's
lost
okay,
out to
so I'm
him.
glad I lost it to a celebrity name that they want to throw in. Yep. No, and I'm sure the other shot the other scene that I auditioned for that to be in is just gonna be all celebrities. I mean, it'll be funny because they'll, like, have them all done up in a very specific way, but, like, I don't know, I get bored at a certain point because of that sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it doesn't do it for you.
I lost that to Bad Bunny. Of course I did. Great.
um, Adam Sandler, do you think he's fulfilling that prophecy of his role in Funny People?
Hmm.
You remember the character he plays in
Yeah,
Funny
yeah,
People?
yeah.
It's
No,
sort of like
Aubrey
uh,
Plaza's first, big movie break.
so like you remember the character he's playing? He's
Yeah,
playing sort of almost like a version of himself.
yeah, he plays a version of himself who is kind of an asshole though, isn't he? Who's also, like, kinda not funny and not doing well because Seth Rogen's character writes jokes for him,
Well, yeah,
and
no,
he's, like,
he's like
cheating
this.
on his wife, like, isn't he? Like, isn't there a whole bunch of or I can't even remember if
Well,
that's
yeah,
the
there's
one.
a bunch of, but like he plays actor comedian. He does all these schlocky studio movies, voicing characters and the almost kind of like paralleling, doing a parallel of like his sort of like life. I don't know if he like kind of
Okay, okay, but he
plays into that,
also
but like he does like all these. And he's like, oh, you were this great comedian and you used to do stuff. Now you take the paycheck and you do these
okay,
crappy
but to be
studio
but to be
comedies.
but to be fair, he also has done Uncut Gems. He's done Hustle. Um,
Oh no, I'm not saying he
he's
had.
done
I'm
Spaceman. Like, I think he is at a point where he's taking giant paychecks that make a lot of money and then also doing films where he actually gets some serious acting in. Like,
No.
I saw
Yeah,
Murder
I mean,
Mystery
but
and I
like I
was
feel like the
like,
most of
yeah.
his I feel like the his sort of like all he does right now, I mean, the majority of his stuff he's doing right now are these like just Netflix comedies that are just
But
like,
doesn't he have a Netflix deal? I mean, that's
oh
he's
yeah, I
gotta
know,
churn
but they're
out
just like
X
they're
number
not
of them.
good. Yeah, I know, but they're just like they're not good.
I mean, but was Spaceman a Netflix? That's Netflix, right? That supposedly
Uh
got some accolades. Yeah, it's a Netflix movie.
Netflix. I mean, it's got 5.7 stars on. I've never seen it. I
Okay, but
don't.
Leo the Iguana,
Leo's
which
not good.
I saw and I enjoyed, but that's got a
My kids
7.
like
I
it.
mean, okay, but Hustle's got a 7.3. Hustle was a great movie.
I that one's good, but that he's not doing his like schlocky character. That's the basketball one, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I haven't seen it. I heard good things about it, but like
yeah.
he's not doing his like. And I get it,
No,
like
no, and he
you
does that,
want to
but
do stuff for
that's
you
his,
do
like,
stuff for them, and then one for you, kind of thing. But like I don't know, it's just kind of
somebody
like
offered
he's
you
still
$30
doing his
million
like.
dollars to do something that is not high art. Would you take the money, Angel?
I mean, that's so like. But what am I doing? Like, what is it?
Would
Like
you
that's
produce a crappy Adam Sandler movie
yes,
for $30 million?
yes.
So what do you say? So, like, everybody, if any well, if you were in Adam
I'm going
Sandler's
back to my question.
position, I guess.
Just going back to my
Oh, would
question,
he?
like,
Is he? I don't think
like,
he is.
do you think
I
he's
think at
still
least
like,
in. I think for that movie, he he wasn't a good, like, a nice guy, and he was doing only schlop movies. I feel like this Adam Sandler is known for being a really nice guy, and
no, it's not
is
like I don't think it's I don't think it's a biopic. I'm just saying, sort of like paralleling that sort of like character. It was obviously I think they took a lot from like his life and like okay, you
Mm.
were this comedian. Like I mean, they used footage from his original stand up, so they were
Oh
trying
yeah,
to
yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah.
But like again, look like Murder Mystery 2, Hubie Halloween. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
again,
No, I saw both of
like
those, and I did not enjoy them that much.
that's I'm just throwing that out there. It's like, oh, he's kind of just still doing that thing, and
I mean,
but
Kathy
yeah, I
Bates is in Hoobie Halloween, dude.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is. It also might be a look at the state of Hollywood movies. What movies make money? I mean, a lot of his movies that you would say, like, oh, very similar to, like, parallel funny people in the ways that he goes are the ones that make the most money for the
yeah.
studios.
Oh no, and
And
there's
therefore
nothing
they're going to
wrong with
keep
that.
trying to kind of churn them out.
I mean, I don't think there's like nothing wrong with like it's you need those big sequels, those franchise movies, those like
Hmm.
stupid comedy, stupid action movies to be able to get the like the original stuff, like your Sinners and
Hmm.
other like original movies that are maybe lower budgeted. That there's got to be a balance there for sure.
Yep. Sinners, which has made almost 300 million globally.
Yeah, no, it's doing
Uh,
well.
Cool.
Definitely
Well,
see it. What are you rating?
I'm gonna rate it as because of the nostalgia, I'll save it to my watch list, but it will not be high up on it. I will watch it after I've watched everything else, probably.
But okay, so you like Happy Gil
I'm a
okay,
fan.
so
I'm
you're a
this
fan, but you're like,
I'm a big fan of his movies, but uh I the ones that are not his recent comedies are not
that's what I was saying,
as
like
not as heady. Yeah, they're not. They're just yeah. I don't find them as strong. They play up to I think again. I haven't watched the studio, but my understanding is the studio from Apple TV is very much the balance between what the creatives want for good story and what the Hollywood producers are pushing for, or executive producers, the finance people, into like we want this and it is not a good thing. That I think we are in a current era in which the people making the financial decisions that give the green light for TV shows and movies are not people who come from necessarily creative backgrounds. And so they don't care about the story. They care only about could this make a lot of money? And therefore, maybe he's got some really smart ones that he wants to do, and this is all the ones that he's allowed to make. I don't know. But yeah, this teaser did not entice me. I don't want to see if I want to see a Happy Gilmore movie, I'll watch Happy Gilmore because it's a great movie.
true.
Um, if I want to see
Okay.
it again, I'll watch it a second time, not this. Like this has to give me something
But so
more
I guess
as a
you
viewer.
want all right,
And I was a
just
Billy
to
Madison fan. Like, yeah,
but to have a comp, I guess. So you're right now like, I'll add it. You'll add it to your watch list, but you're not like it's not the top of your list to like stream next.
yeah.
But are you? I guess are you a coming to America bigger fan for that than Happy Gilmore? Because you watched the
Yeah,
sequel,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is
No,
stream.
I was I'd say I enjoyed both Coming to America and Happy Gilmore, but I definitely enjoyed Coming to America more. I've seen Coming to
Okay.
America like not a dozen times, but
Hmm.
just under.
Okay.
I've probably seen Happy Gilmore like 2 or 3 times.
Got it. Okay. I mean, so just on your
Yeah, yeah,
understand your so that makes sense. I mean, you streamed that. Who knows if it was like right away or whatnot, but you're like, oh, I'm gonna watch this for sure. Um, for me, I'll check it out. So I'll add it to the watch list, but I
hmm
won't. It'll probably sit there for a bit.
in the same
Um,
same same bucket as me.
I mean, I usually do that with a lot of my streaming stuff, anyways. I'm like, oh, this is on streaming. Let me add it.
Yep.
Um, But usually the movies that I add to my watch list for like Netflix are third party movies that they license. It's rare
Mm.
that it's the originals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, makes sense. I mean, they do it trying to reach the most amount of audience to try and pull in subscribers. It's not always like a niche done well. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But also I would say I'll check it out, but only after I rewatch Happy Gilmore 1.
mm, I mean, you'll at least watch one good movie then in that sequence. Okay. Well,
So
we
because it's
should.
been a while since I've seen it, and so I'd like
Yeah.
to all right, let me just reconnect. And again, hearing that there's going to be a bunch of cameos in the movie that can be kind of fun, but that also, like we talked about, isn't usually a good sign. So
Yeah. Unless you're Love Actually or Zoolander original. I think they did it well. Okay. But we also are doing rank them in order
oh yeah,
of
so
what we'd see.
yeah,
I
add
think
this.
I
What
think I think we both are going to have the exact same ranking though.
I think so too. Mine would be Heads of State,
Yep.
Happy Gilmore 2, and then Fountain of Youth.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
same.
that wasn't okay. Nothing exciting there. All right. Okay, so for our poll, we'll do something different since we're not our traditional poll. So if you partake on the polls on Spotify, which movie are you most interested in seeing of these three? Fountain of Youth, Heads of State, Happy Gilmore 2, or none of the above? Let us know in the poll.
And then also for the question for the comments, this is a nice one. Angel came up with this one. Which streamer produces the best original movies? Netflix, Apple, Amazon, Hulu, Tubi, other? What do you think? Mubi, right? Mubi's now in the
Movies,
running
movies get in
with the
there.
substance.
though. That was a theatrical movie. I think they're kind of more in the theatrical game. I know they have like a streaming service, but I think they're kind of like this up and coming
Mhm.
like indie label. But I would, what would you say? Netflix, Apple, Amazon. Obviously, Netflix has the bigger catalog.
I'd have to review, but I feel like Amazon has been doing better movies.
Hmm. I liked
Like,
the Roadhouse sequel. Did you?
oh, with Jake
Did you see it?
Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, it was fun.
I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed
It was
it.
fun.
I didn't know
Yeah.
who Conor McGregor was. I had to look up who the bad guy was, and then I was like,
What?
"Oh,
Hold
I
on.
mean, I'm not an MMA
I'm not
fighter
either, but
person
like it's
watcher." And I was like, "He's so small compared to Jake Gyllenhaal."
yeah, but like are you I don't know, are you a hockey person? Do you know who Wayne Gretzky is?
Well, Wayne Gretzky is one of the greatest hockey players of all times and also was around like 30 years ago.
I don't know. It's I can't find a comp for that, but like it's the same thing. I don't know like his record, Conor McGregor, but like he's won a lot of fights,
I
anyways.
just know he like got into fights in bars and stuff, I think, or
Yeah, just
there's
like in
some
the movie.
controversy. But yeah. Um yeah,
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
think
I don't know.
Amazon has been doing some smarter movies in that
Mm,
schlock versus not sphere.
yeah.
And Netflix is hit
Um
or miss.
yeah, no, I think Netflix obviously has more of the volume, so they probably have more of like a ratio. Like, oh, they actually have like a lot of good movies, but a lot of crappy movies. Or
Mhm.
Apple probably has the smallest list of movies. So I don't know. I couldn't say
Smallest library. Yeah, I'd have to
which
look up which
smallest
movies are
library
Apple.
for yeah for features and for movies. Yeah, I don't know.
But gonna throw out just few quick house cleaning, but not and shout out items
Hmm.
before we wrap up. First and foremost, shout out to Janelle and Shadow Force, which opens this weekend. Tomorrow, if you are listening the day this drops, or last weekend, or a recently, past weekend, listen to our Jurassic World Rebirth teardown, where Janelle Stevens Thompson, stunt person and actor extraordinaire, joins us for some awesome analysis. Dropping, she's like, "Oh, yeah. So I decided to call up my friend who was the stunt coordinator for Jurassic World Rebirth to chat about some of these scenes." Great, like throwaway line. Love it. So check that out. Shadow Force coming out this weekend, March 8th, 9th, March 9th, I think.
May May.
Right. Oh gosh, it's May 9th. And then also just a reminder that the trailers for all movies that we mention or I forget and try to we find the actual name of the movie are in the episode description, as well as of course the trailer for link teaser trailer for the movies we discuss. And thank you for listening. And please subscribe to the podcast so that our numbers look awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.